The follow-up is simple. Ask a question, listen to the answer, then follow up. I'm your host, Noah Kozlov. Enjoy.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Follow Up Podcast. I'm Eden, and this is my dad, Noah, and every week we sit on my bed and have a different conversation about something I want to talk about. And this week, we're talking about basketball.
NBA season starts this week.
Yep.
So-
In 2 days.
Right, so we're recording this on Sunday. Season
starts on Tuesday.
Right. We've got the Nets and the Bucks
Sounds like a very good game.
and the Warriors and the Lakers. So
Right.
we've got Steph against LeBron, and then we've got the
And Anthony Davis.
Right, and Anthony Davis, yep, and then the Nets and the Bucks, which is so exciting because that was the rematch of the Eastern Conference
Right.
semifinals last year.
But that game might not be as good as you would hope it would be because Kyrie Irving's not playing.
Right, so that's one of the big headlines
Right.
going into the season is Kyrie Irving and not taking the vaccine, and I can't figure it out. Just
Just to play.
do it.
Yeah, just to play. Like, what else are you going to do?
Exactly. So, but remember last year during the Eastern Conference semifinals when the Nets were beating the Bucks,
Yeah.
and then Kevin Durant's
Oh, yeah.
Toe. Right.
Stepped
on the line. So if he was just an inch or two back, it would have been a 3-pointer, and they would have won the game, won the series, gone on to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then all those things would have happened to the Bucks.
Right.
Like so.
So, their coach would have been fired. Right?
Right. Do you remember their coaches?
Like, Budenholzer?
Right. So he would have been fired, but instead, a few inches. That's sports. A few inches here and there, and difference between a bucket or not, and Bucks ended up going on to win. But now the Nets have Kevin Durant and James Harden, because James Harden was hurt.
From the Rockets.
Right, but he was hurt during that playoff series last year, and Kevin Durant is just an all-world player. Could be the best player in the league.
Yeah.
And against Giannis, and I'm always interested to see how a team that wins the championship, how they perform the next year. So.
Right.
So overall, what do you most give me a few things that you're excited. You already mentioned about the Kyrie situation, but tell me a few things that you're interested / excited for the season.
Well, I'm excited to watch Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Because of Mo.
Sure, of course.
Let's see. I'm excited to see how, some of the best teams last year, if they're still one of the best teams this year, like you mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Like the Bucks, yeah.
Right, because it's interesting. I think definitely a lot of things could change over the summer of how they play.
Right.
So a lot of things can impact them of how they play
Agreed.
during the summer.
So like which teams?
Like the Bucks, the Lakers, Suns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Around those.
Yeah, Bucks, Lakers, Suns, Nets. Yeah, sure. And maybe even Denver.
Yeah, Denver was really good.
Right, but now Jamal Murray's still hurt, but they still have Jokic, and see how they do.
Right, because he was the most valuable player last year.
Yeah, he was the MVP last year.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Well, what about the Sixers?
Yeah, and the Sixers, I'm interested of how they're playing because they don't have Ben Simmons on their team anymore. Well, he's still on their team.
Yeah, he's still there. Yeah.
Well, he's still there, but it's like he's not because he's not showing up to games.
Right, we don't know. We have no idea.
Right.
He says he's never going to play there again, but he might.
You know.
Right, he just
no one knows.
He just left. Teammates went to go try to get him in Los Angeles on the plane. He said, "Don't bother, stay away." He's got 4 years left on his contract, and I personally hope the Sixers just let him sit.
Yeah.
I hope they set a precedent, meaning I hope they become the first ones to tell a player, "Go ahead, sit. We're not going to pay you. Sit." But I do think they should talk to Joel Embiid about it because he's their best player.
Right.
He's sometimes the most dominant player in the NBA. They should say, all right, what do you think if we take this tactic, or we could trade him and we could get this or this? How do you think that would help us? There are a lot of things going on, and I do think that...
But it would be really hard to trade him.
It would, because you're not going to get what you think you're going to get for him, but I think the
because
Sixers should wait to see the most they can get for him.
I don't think most teams would want Ben Simmons right now of how he's playing because he wasn't shooting.
Right. not shooting at all.
No.
And I think that if he leaves Philadelphia, see, last year at the end of the playoffs, I remember saying to you, he can't ever come back. He
No,
can't.
he can't.
They have to trade him. This was at the end of the season. It was all in his head. It was never going to work for him in Philadelphia. It just wasn't going to work. So maybe it would work somewhere else for him. But I remember seeing him in high school, broadcasting one or two of his games, and watching him shoot 3-pointers.
Right.
And now he won't even shoot when he's under the basket. Or like Giannis, when he struggles to shoot, or even to shoot free throws, he's still aggressive. So he still tries to get to the free throw line. He still tries to get fouled and get to the free throw line.
So
And Ben
he can
doesn't do
shoot.
it. Right. Because he's not afraid. But Ben is.
But he's
That's
afraid
for sure.
to shoot or to do anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think the Sixers season is going to be fascinating. And Joel is so good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is really good.
Talking about so good, who do you think will be the MVP this year? Like, who do you think might have a chance of being it?
That's a good question. So I do think Joel
Yeah,
will.
definitely.
I do.
Maybe Giannis.
Giannis for sure.
Definitely. Maybe.
I think Kevin Durant I think Kevin Durant and James Harden
Yeah.
will have a chance to be MVP.
Um,
Even though it's tough when you have two superstars on one team, they might split votes. But I think Kevin Durant and James Harden
could be it.
could be it. And I think Steph Curry.
Right.
I can't wait to watch the Warriors once
Yeah.
Klay Thompson comes back.
And who else do we? Who was it last year?
Maybe, Jokic
Oh yeah.
from Denver, Nikola Jokic.
Nikola Jokic.
And
Definitely could get it again.
He could for sure. And there's always LeBron. There's
Always.
always LeBron. And the fact that he came into the
And
league in
it is so. But
2003
Right.
and he's still doing this is pretty remarkable.
it's always a chance.
There's always
Always
a
a
chance.
chance.
Always a chance for LeBron. And I think there's always a chance for I think Damian Lillard.
Right.
His opportunity in Portland.
Do you think he could get it this
He
year?
could, yeah. The league
He
is
definitely
filled with stars,
Yeah.
and there's just a matter of who's the one that
Right.
on the team that is either the best in the East or the West, and if they're that much better,
Right.
because then there's always the question of,
It-
all right, well,
Also,
is it the best player or is it
Right.
the most valuable to his team? Always
or
that
is
question.
it the question is, they might be they could be the most valuable player, but what if they get hurt this season?
Right. So just like Joel last year,
Right.
he could have been the MVP, but he missed a lot of games, and that's another question. I'm glad you brought that up. Whenever I see, and having done it on the radio and TV, of the preseason predictions,
Right.
and they say who do you think's gonna win, and then the analysts always say, well, assuming everybody's healthy.
Assuming you know who's healthy at this game.
Well, you know who's healthy right now,
Right.
but you also know that not everybody's going to be healthy. Like
Of course, not
there
everybody's going to be
are
healthy.
always injuries.
Right.
So that's why I think the preseason predictions they're fun, but
They're not always accurate.
it seems well that's for sure, and it just almost seems like a fool's errand. Like you know, someone's always going to get hurt.
Of course.
Yeah, someone's always going to get hurt, and multiple guys are always going to get hurt. So I have no idea.
I have no idea.
I have no idea, but you know, I think we mentioned a few teams, but I know from you brought it up the other day that there was a team in the East that you thought was going to be really good that I hadn't heard a whole lot about. Do you remember that team?
Miami.
Miami. Why?
Well, I know they have a good player. Who did they just get that was traded?
He was traded from Toronto, their point guard.
Oh, Dean.
He went to Villanova, wears number 7.
Forget this
First name starts with a K.
Kawhi Leonard.
Nope.
No.
But
That's
he's hurt too. We didn't even mention the Clippers or
Oh,
Kawhi. But he used to be Kawhi's teammate in Toronto, Kyle.
Oh, Kyle Lowry.
Right. So now they have a real point guard.
He's really good.
Mhm.
Now they have a real point guard. So I think they can have a good shot.
Yeah, I think they could be. I think they could be really good. Yeah, with Jimmy Butler and
Right.
and Bam Adebayo and Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero. Yeah, they have.
They have like more of like that one player makes their team more valuable.
I agree.
Better
Yeah, I agree. And now that
of winning.
you're a little bit older, you can stay up a little bit longer. Watch, the games that start at 7, tip off usually at like
7:07.
7:07. Yeah, 7:30 games tip off 7:37. So if you're gonna go to bed at instead of being in your room at 7:30, maybe you can be in your room at 8. So you can watch some more. You can watch some more of the games, and we'll watch some highlights in the morning.
Right.
Yeah, that's how I used to do it as a kid.
Mhm.
And I used to always then listen to the Sixers games on the radio.
Did you go and enjoy all? Did you go to a lot of Sixers games?
Yeah, a lot.
Right.
A lot. We used to go to the Spectrum, which was the old building. It's not there anymore.
Oh, right,
Remember I
right.
showed you the
Oh yeah, that was so funny.
right. I showed you the demolition of the Veterans Stadium where the Phillies and the
That was fun.
and the Phillies and the Eagles played. I
Yeah,
didn't
that-
show you the demolition of the,
Oh, you
of the
didn't?
Spectrum,
That
but I
was
should.
funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Right, just dynamite everywhere and
Yeah.
it goes crumbles.
and then just
So I used to
just
go.
like a bunch of different pieces.
I think I showed you some of the ticket stubs. If
Oh
not,
yeah,
I
you
will.
showed-
So.
no, you did. Wasn't that the picture that you took in my room
Mm-hmm.
in Abington? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you showed me that.
Right. So of the games that like in
We were looking-
1985.
We were looking up those games.
Mm-hmm. So it must have been the first time I saw Michael Jordan play. I might have been 4 or 5 years old. There were a bunch of times Sixers played the Celtics around my birthday, and the Celtics and Sixers were big rivals. We went to Los Angeles to go to the LA Forum when Uncle Saul was living out there, and remember seeing the Sixers play the Lakers there, and we saw them play in Golden State and Atlanta, and the first season in Miami. We were really lucky. I mean, it was going to the Spectrum to see the Sixers
Mhm.
was my favorite thing to do, and I guess I guess we did it a lot during the week too, and then I don't know, maybe I was just tired the next day for school. I do remember a few times
I'm
like,
always tired.
no, come on,
For school.
being asleep when we get in the driveway, and I remember like being really little and grandma just like getting me into the house and just saying, yeah, you can just go to bed, and like I would just go into my bed with my clothes on, and she would just take off my shoes and I'd go to sleep. Or maybe she made me brush my teeth. I don't know. But those are, going to those games as a kid, those were the best memories for sure.
Mhm.
And on weekends sometimes, well, on the way down before we got onto 95, the highway, there was always the guy who stood there to selling the soft pretzels, and so they were in bags of, I don't know, it was like 3 for $2 or something like that, and those are the best Philadelphia soft pretzels. Like the Shappy's pretzels that you like from Los Angeles,
So
right?
good.
But they're the Philadelphia style
Yeah.
soft pretzel with the big knot in the middle.
So good.
And then a news station did a story on those street pretzel vendors that they were like going into the woods and going to the bathroom and then not washing their hands and then selling pretzels. So we stopped getting the pretzels for a while, and then sometimes on the way home from the game, we'd stop. There was a place called Nate's Hot Bagels in Grant Plaza, and so they'd be making the bagels late at night, so you could just go in and get a few really hot ones and then like hot cinnamon raisin bagel and eat it on the way home.
Mm-hmm.
Made for a good night. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna watch a lot of Mo, watch a lot of Sixers, a lot of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I like talking about basketball.
I do too.
Any guesses who's gonna win the championship? I know we just said that it's crazy because someone always gets hurt.
Not yet, because I haven't seen that many teams play
Alright, so
how
we'll-
good they are.
All right, so how about we talk basketball a few times then during the year?
Sure.
All right, I love you.